Alrighty, Tyler, here we go. We're going to start off with Eric Scopel from 247 Sports.
Tyler, a couple of days removed from Friday. What's been the mood of the team and kind of is everybody's head on the right path right now for Cal on Saturday?
100%. We all talked as a group, got all of our leaders together and just talked to the team about what this week means to us and how we want to move forward. Everyone's kind of gelling together. We're pissed off in a way that we know we should have done better last week, but we're just going to use this momentum and just really take this week of practice seriously and just got to take it onto the field on Saturday.
Matt Preem, 247 Sports.
I think the goal so far has been to play, as complete of a game as you guys possibly can. First couple of games is playing really well in the second half. You guys played really well in the first half against Oregon State. I guess what's just preventing you guys from putting a full, complete game, playing well in both halves, you feel like?
Just execution on our part. It's the little things that matter, and we just got to take those little things and just know that they're big things at the end of the day. Everyone's got to do their job. I got to do my job better. It just comes out to translating what we do in practice onto the field every single drive. We can't take anything for granted, no matter the scoreboard or the clock. So that's been our mindset going forward and in the past, and we just got to keep hammering away at it.
Ashley Conklin, register guard.
Tyler, last year, Cal was the only team to hold you guys under 20 points. What do you see as the keys to attacking their defense and being successful on Saturday?
Last year, they had a completely different DC and obviously different players and a different offensive coordinator for us. So we're not trying to focus on last year as much, but obviously they have a great front this year. They got a new defensive coordinator, and they got great DBs on the back end. So they're going to be another tough defense and extremely physical. So we're going to have to bring our best for sure.
James Krapia, the Oregonian.
Tyler, can certainly appreciate the drive to want to get better after a loss, especially. The offense was efficient, though, as a whole. This week has been efficient all season. Is that tougher as a quarterback to have that drive when you look back at yourself and say, what could I have done better? And it really does come down to 2 plays. It comes down to a couple of turnovers out of 66 plays. That's one of the biggest takeaways because there weren't a lot of negative plays. It was a lot of efficiency overall.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. It's 4 to 6 plays each game that define each game. You don't know what play it's going to be, so you got to play each rep like it's the last and just go into it with a fresh mind and they could bring anything. And that just comes on execution and decision making on my part. And everyone's talked about it. We all got to do our job in order for a play to be executed well. I think we're just going to kind of honing in on that in practice this week to try not let our mind slip to play through a whole full quarter game.
Eric Scopel.
Tyler, what have you maybe learned about yourself in the last few days here after a tough loss where obviously you don't want to point your fingers anywhere, but what have you learned about yourself from what happened on Friday?
Yeah, I was honestly deep down, I was really glad it happened to me because we all got a good reflection moment just to kind of be faced with a lot of adversity throughout the game and try and bounce back from it. And then ultimately at the end of the day, we didn't get the result that we wanted and to face that result and move on from it. I think it was just a great learning lesson for me personally and a lot of the guys on the team to not really get the outcome you want, but just know that, God's timing is better than our timing. So we kind of take that with a grain of salt and just using that as momentum and a passion to go forward. And I'm really, blessed and honored to be in this situation and to be able to have that pressure on all of us because, pressure is a privilege. So we're just going to take that and do what we can with it and trying to go 1-0 this next week.
Andrew Hobner, KZI.
Tyler, you had a couple of games last year that I guess you could classify as a disappointing loss. You're backing up Justin and kind of watching him throughout all of last season. Is there anything that you saw out of him and how he handled, the aftermath of those losses from a leadership standpoint that you kind of took and were maybe able to apply this year?
I think we handle it in different ways. I think him and I are different personally, but I think I just found that within myself and just rallied around our guys and to really define what this team means to us this year. So I'm really proud of our guys and how they fought and how they kind of overcame this moment. And, we still got to keep going forward.
James Kripia.
We've talked about how the offense is scratching the surface in terms of how much was still there in the playbook. We've seen it expand each week from 11 to more 12, more 10 this last week. How much more are you guys able to do now this many weeks in, especially when guys coming back like a Micah or some of your tight ends getting healthier, that we've talked about this before, but again, just more formations, more stuff, even compared to last year, maybe just a more expansive offense.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it on the head. You know, we feel comfortable in any personnel grouping with anybody on the field. That's a great part about having these a lot of these guys come back and get healthy and be fresh and ready to go. So, as a quarterback, you feel completely confident in those guys and Micah getting a lot of those practice reps back and getting back with the team. I think it's just going to be ultimately better for all of us. And going into the game, we don't really know what personnel we're going to start in or be in for the rest of the game. We just kind of go with it on the flow and just have a great plan going in the week forward. But going against Cal, it's just going to be we're going to do what we do and we're going to do it to the best of our ability.
Jerry Thompson, Ducks Illustrated.
Yeah, Tyler, I don't know if the coaches have made you aware of this, probably not, but you realize the head coach, the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator at Cal are all starred for the Ducks, played for the Ducks and were stars here. And I don't know, last week was a rivalry game. You might kind of use that as a little bit of a rivalry too.
No, we don't really care, who they are, where they come from. We're just we care about the guys on the field and what looks they're going to give us. You know, everybody's from somewhere and everybody's got a story, but we know they're great coaches and great people, so they're going to have their guys ready, and we got to be ready as well.
James.
In terms of Cal's personnel, Tyler, just 8, 19, 24. What have you seen from each of those guys on film, particularly 24, since you're going to be throwing on him? I think you hope not to see very much of 8 and 19, but what are you seeing from those guys on film?
Yeah, extremely physical, twitchy guys. You know, they're going to be some of the best corners and DBs we faced all year. So I know they're going to be ready, and our wide receivers are getting ready for this week and for them as well. But as a quarterback perspective, I don't really try and think about personnel as a corner per se, more as kind of where they're forming as a defense. And I have full belief in all of our wide receivers. We believe every matchup that we go against is in our favor, just because practicing and I feel confident in all of our guys, no matter the situation, who they're going up against. So, but obviously all around on defense, they're going to be physical and fast. So we just got to be ready for that.
That's all we have for you, Tyler. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys.